Meltdown, a 4-part investigation of the orgy of greed and recklessness that drove the world into financial collapse. Only now are the hard questions being asked. Only now are the key players being held to account.
Ever wonder how a massive financial crisis changed the way we handle our money? Picture a moment in time when economies across the world were thrown into chaos, forcing not just governments and institutions, but everyday people to rethink how they approach their finances. That moment was the 2008 financial crisis. It wasn't just a rough patch for the global economy, it was a pivotal moment that transformed personal finance forever. It brought to light weaknesses in the system and challenged long-held beliefs about money. People everywhere had to reconsider how they saved, invested, and secured their financial futures. It was a wake-up call for individuals and institutions alike, exposing cracks in the financial system that no one had seen or wanted to see before. From top financial executives to regular people managing their retirement savings, no one escaped the ripple effects of this crisis. It reshaped how we think about risk, forced us to adopt new financial strategies, and led to sweeping changes in financial regulations. Join us as we take an in-depth look at how this crisis reshaped personal finance and left a lasting mark on how we handle our money today. Ready to dive in and see how it all unfolded? Let's take a closer look at the financial earthquake that changed everything. The fall of Lehman Brothers, 2008. Our journey starts with one of the most dramatic and defining moments of the crisis, the collapse of Lehman Brothers. On September 15th, 2008, Lehman Brothers, one of the world's largest investment banks, filed for bankruptcy. This was no ordinary bankruptcy. It was the largest in US history and sent shockwaves through financial markets around the globe. Lehman's downfall wasn't just a story of a single company's failure. It became the symbol of the financial crisis that followed. Lehman Brothers, what went wrong? A deadly combination of risky mortgage-backed securities, excessive borrowing, and poor oversight. Lehman's collapse was a stark reminder of just how interconnected global financial institutions had become. It wasn't just a financial disaster, it was an eye-opener. The failure exposed serious flaws in how banks manage risk, and it showed the dangers of taking on too much debt. This event set off a domino effect, shaking the trust people had in the financial system, both in the markets and on a personal level. People who had placed their faith and savings in big financial institutions realized they had to start thinking more critically about where their money was and how safe it really was. From Wall Street giant to cautionary tale, Lehman's fall changed personal finance forever. The housing market crash, 2008. The housing market crash played a key role in fueling the financial crisis. Before 2008, housing was seen as one of the safest investments around.
I bought a flat for 9 million kroner here downtown, almost close to where we are now. 1.5 years later, I sell it for almost 15 million kroner. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I've done nothing to this flat, and here we are, 6 million kroner in my pocket, just for keeping it for 1.5 years. And of course, when you're benefiting from it, you're sort of, okay, well, this is great.
Real estate prices had been rising for years, and people were buying homes at record levels, confident that the value of their properties would only go up. But then the housing bubble burst, and everything changed. Home prices plummeted, leaving millions of homeowners underwater, owing more on their mortgages than their homes were worth. The housing market, why did it crash so badly? Overvalued homes, risky subprime mortgages, and a frenzy of reckless lending created a perfect storm. The housing crash didn't just wipe out home equity. It shook a fundamental belief that owning property was always a safe bet. Many homeowners lost everything as foreclosures spiked. The crisis also revealed major flaws in how mortgages were being handed out, especially to people who couldn't afford them. For many, the dream of home ownership turned into a nightmare of foreclosure and financial ruin. This led to a dramatic reevaluation of real estate as an investment and forced the government to step in with new rules to prevent reckless lending. A housing market collapse that turned dream homes into financial nightmares. The impact on retirement savings, 2008. But the damage didn't stop at housing. The crisis had a massive impact on retirement savings as well. As stock markets plummeted, the value of retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs nosedived. Many people saw their life savings evaporate in a matter of months. For those close to retirement, this was a terrifying wake-up call, raising serious concerns about whether they'd have enough to retire comfortably. Retirement accounts. How did they survive the crisis? They suffered heavy losses, leaving many worried about their financial futures. This devastating drop in retirement savings forced people to rethink their long-term financial strategies. Many learned the hard way that relying too much on the stock market could leave them vulnerable during economic downturns. As a result, the crisis led to a broader push for more diversified investments. People started looking for safer options like bonds and savings accounts to balance out the risks. The lesson was clear. A well-rounded retirement plan needs to be able to weather financial storms. And for many, the crisis was a harsh reminder of that fact. From dreams of retirement to a new reality. How the crisis changed the way we save for the future. The rise of financial regulations. 2008. As the dust settled from the crisis, governments and regulators around the world stepped in to prevent something like this from happening again. One of the most important changes was the passage of the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act. This sweeping legislation aimed to overhaul the financial system, introducing tougher regulations and increased transparency in the financial markets. Dodd-Frank, what did it do for personal finance? It introduced stricter rules to protect consumers, increased oversight, and made the financial system more transparent. The Dodd-Frank Act wasn't just about making sure big banks didn't take on too much risk again. It also created new agencies like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, which was tasked with protecting consumers from unfair financial practices. Another major change was the Volcker Rule, which limited banks from making risky investments with their own money. These reforms aimed to restore confidence in the financial system and ensure that consumers were better protected in the future. New rules for a new world. How financial regulations reshaped personal finance. The push for financial literacy and planning, 2008, to present. If there's one lasting legacy of the 2008 financial crisis, it's the rise of financial literacy and planning. After witnessing the widespread destruction caused by poor financial decisions and risky investments, people became more proactive about managing their money. Financial education took center stage, and more people started learning about budgeting, saving, and investing. Financial literacy. Why is it more important than ever? Understanding how to manage your money is key to surviving economic ups and downs and building a secure future. The push for financial literacy led to an explosion of resources designed to help individuals manage their finances better. Online platforms, financial education programs, and advisory services have all grown in popularity. People are now more informed about financial matters, and tools like budgeting apps and robo-advisors have made managing money more accessible than ever. The rise of fintech has empowered individuals to take control of their finances, giving them the tools they need to make smarter decisions and build stronger financial foundations. From financial confusion to financial empowerment, how the crisis changed the way we manage money. The 2008 financial crisis reshaped personal finance, from Lehman Brothers' collapse to new regulations and the rise of financial literacy. It made us rethink saving, investing, and planning for the future. The lessons learned strengthened finance and empowered smarter decisions. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more financial insights.